right, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Culture Geek Network. A bit of a break, but I'm back. I got one of my good friends here, Mark. Mr. Roma,
Hey
how
there,
you doing
everybody.
tonight, man?
Good, brother. How about you? How's everybody else?
Good, man. With my job, I got tomorrow off. I know you don't, so I told you right before we went on, I won't keep you up too late.
Not too late. Right on. Right
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah. So, what's new with you, man?
Just work, trying to get rid of some of my collections.
All
Got a
right,
lot,
right.
some
Which will we
changes.
be definitely thought that's the main topic for the night. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um,
And then house remodeling. Don't let's not go there yet. Oh
you
man.
know what? I know that we've got a topic already at hand, but I also know that you're a big Scotch and whiskey guy. So maybe we should do not one of these, but like when we're sitting together, we could do a tasting episode or something like that.
We could do I got quite a few here, or I could just go to you and bring maybe 4 to 5 to
Yeah.
try, and then you could kind of give me your thoughts on this, different levels.
Right, right. What just out of curiosity, what is your favorite drink right now?
Ooh. Um, I think the Hibiki 12 year whiskey is really good. Uh, but I like trying different versions of old fashions. I like old fashions. It's the
I,
aroma, presentation, the taste.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
And you know what? I'm a big. I don't want to say big, but I love old fashions myself. And I can't say that I've never had a bad old fashioned.
I've had one.
Really?
Yeah, but that's just I didn't do my homework of going to this place, and it was just last minute, hanging out with some friends, and it wasn't really a place that had, I guess, the right mix, the right ambiance for that type of drink.
Okay. All right. I mean, was it at some like nightclub where you know that it's not like a?
Nightclub, man, I don't do nightclubs. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm up to 2 or 3, but nightclubs, I'm mostly at the lounge, man. The
Okay.
downtown Riverside President's Lounge. That's a good spot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they got some really good drinks, but that place is very historic. There's a lot of things that are still, back when it first started, and just the ambiance of uh that lounge is just, it's a great place.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
recommend. I recommend.
All right. I mean, I know that and we'll get into it later on, but I know that I promised you I'd come over so I can help you do some
We're still waiting.
yeah, do some reorganizing or reconfiguring of your collection. So I'll
Ooh,
come out there.
we're looking at 30 plus years, brother. 30
But
plus years of stuff.
yeah, but before we get into that, I mean, let's
Yeah.
talk about the Penguin. Actually, the second episode is out tonight. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick review of the first episode.
Okay.
I actually have it playing the first episode again right now, just to kind
Mhm.
of like refresh my memory. You watched it this morning or last night?
No, I watched it last night when we were talking. After I got off the phone, I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and catch up, and because there's a lot of shows I've been trying to catch up on, especially with all the remodeling around the house and just
Right.
yeah, I just haven't had time.
So,
But
what are your thoughts on the show?
I liked it beyond what I thought it was. 'Cause a lot of times I'm not trailers. I'm always, they're very they could be subjective in how it's cut, and the whole what they show is not really part of the actual show like they do in movies.
Right, right, right.
There might be deleted scenes or something, but I like the fact that there's that connection, that lineage is just after the Batman, and the way it was. I like that they're going dark, but then again, we all know, so that's a whole nother conversation of DC's trying to capture. the movies part. We all know they're good on the small screen, but we know they suffered for years, if not decades, on the larger screen. But I like how it's been dark. I mean,
Yeah,
Colin
yeah,
Farrell is, yeah, you get different parts of the Penguin.
yeah. Um, I I actually loved it. I'm gonna say that. So first and foremost, I love like mafia gangster type of TV shows, movies, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And this is right up my alley. And the fact that it's kind of like a the beginnings of it, right? His rise to power.
Yes,
That's what I
absolutely.
love. And like I'm like as I'm watching, I have it right here on the background, and as I'm looking at it, I mean the penguin get up itself, the makeup and his outfit, it's amazing. Like there's
Oh,
no like you can't tell it's Colin Farrell at all.
no, it's the attention to detail in this.
Yeah.
We know over the years, obviously technology and everything and the skill set to do all this has dramatically changed compared to back in the day. But Colin Farrell's take on this and the attention to detail of every bit of the prosthetics, his movements, and just that little limp as he's walking, and
Yes,
just
yes, yes.
and then the degree, and then I guess you could say the special effects of his foot, the way that looks all mangled and everything. I was just
Yeah,
like, that's good. That is
yeah.
some good work there.
And the thing is, I don't remember much of the character in the movie. Granted, I wasn't a fan of um, the
You,
Batman movie. I wasn't a fan of it.
you didn't
So
like Robert Pattinson? You didn't like him?
no, I didn't. I didn't. You know what? I think, in all honesty, I liked Nolan and I liked the Batfleck. I hoped that we saw more Batfleck, but I guess that's not going to happen anymore.
No, I think, but again, DC has done so many different variances in the sense of they always trying to retap. Is like after 30, 40 years, we don't need to re-know the beginnings.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
go into, because again, there's so many different variations. You know, I think I like the part of the first part of the Batman was just it's a younger Bruce who's angry all the time and he's trying to find his way. But and then like how it ended, this just picked up to where the darkness and just so many possibilities are out there. But you see how, like you said, the Penguin character plays a part to many facets of who he's dealing with.
yeah,
He's very narcissistic in a sense, or very like, okay, he'll pretend he's one thing, but he's scheming on the end.
yeah. I loved how they showed how, I don't know if it's cunning, but his scheming, you get to see it all fall into place. And it wasn't complicated because you could see what he was doing.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
like his it's the dark part and be like, hey, come on, let's go ahead and do this. Just nonchalant, like I'm about to kill you, gut you like a fish. Come on, let's just go. I'll take you to my mom's. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just that part, that dark side, and just like, and then like, what are you talking about? Nah, that's no biggie. That I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So I'm looking forward to it. Um, yeah, it's just there's so much there that the possibilities of his rise, but then again, to what extent to a penguin, you know? Because is it the old Burgess Meredith in a sense? Like, are they play homage to that, or Danny DeVito? Are they mixing certain things, or even like they always do within the cartoon and even the game Arkham Asylum?
Yeah.
Like how they're going to mold all these things, or if not, is it going to be something independent?
I think it's going to be independent. I mean, because like you're not hearing him do that wah
Wah, wah.
wah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's not doing that.
But are they
I,
going to do it just to be like an Easter egg?
I
You know what
he
I
could
mean?
have a laugh where he does that. Maybe. Yeah.
I mean,
Have they
you're always looking for those. But
yeah, have they like have they called him the penguin? No, right?
no, it just Copperpot. That's it. That's
Yeah.
that's just where they're at on there, and whether how he maybe he has an epiphany of to call himself just that or something like. He's in a dream. Who knows how they're going to play it?
I have a idea of how they're gonna play it. So
How? What's your take?
his walk is penguin-esque, right? So
Yes,
there's that,
absolutely.
and then when you look at his facial features, that nose is like it's a little like I don't know what the word. It's got like a
It's a
not penguin
remnants
like
of the other ones,
what was that?
like a remnants of a penguin's nose,
Like
kind of,
his nose is
or
kind of pronounced, I guess, if that's
okay.
the word. Yeah. So I think what he'll do is some rival or someone's gonna make fun of him and call him the penguin, and he's gonna take ownership of it and says,
Hmm.
and make that, you want to call me that, then fine, but that, he's just gonna own that moniker that when people make fun of him and call him that behind his back.
True, but I do like the fact that he's not afraid to get his hands dirty.
Yeah,
Like he's ready to square up. Like remember in the car thing, comes out of the trunk and then come and then he's just going round for round, punch for punch, doing what he's doing.
that's right. That's right. Yeah,
And that like and then he's always like brushing himself off, like okay, you got this. But he's always scheming. That's what like he's always trying to be 3 steps ahead. You
yeah,
think about it, right? Within the way the three situations that he's dealing with, he's trying to make sure something's going to happen between the three, and he's the innocent bystander. And then he's just going to take over. See, that's how I'm saying how he's going to probably come to rise. He's going to just take over by whoever's winning and at their weakest,
yeah,
and be like, "You should have saw this coming." That I
yeah,
think. But I don't know. It just has a lot of possibilities. I think and to show the depths of Pharaoh, and kind of like how um, Ledger, how he took the Joker.
yeah,
Obviously, it's just within a movie perspective, but yet we all know that's very iconic now. Like to be the Joker, you got to go Ledger level. You really
yep,
do to even
yeah,
because it's hard. We all know the way the depths of the Joker is, but a lot of us in our generation would say from the cartoon perspective, Mark Hamill plays the best Joker. The whole character mindset, the
I,
personification from the cartoon.
I would even say Mark Hamill overall top two, right? I think it's Ledger
Hmm.
and Mark Hamill.
No, that's what I'm saying. But that
Yeah,
was the level at first. Just the diabolical, but yet very dark, but comedic, and just pure chaos, but in a controlled way. And then Ledger just took it up a notch. That was just in live action. That was just, yeah, that set the tone. And I think, Colin Farrell, uh, I think his, see for the Penguin wise, I mean, obviously he's kind of set the bar on that one already,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And like you're right. In the movie from the Batman, we didn't see too much, but this is opening a door to see where it's going to be.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully how they write it and edit it, and stuff like that. So I don't know.
And the dynamic between him and his little helper guy, what's his name, Victor?
Victor,
Yeah,
that that was pretty. I like that. That was just kind of
I hope that whatever they have for that character, they keep him around and they keep this dynamic. Like I hope that if there's one person that maybe um, he doesn't like, he keeps that they both kind of stay like loyal to each other.
yeah. Like there's a,
And
a, a bond, like a
yeah,
teacher and a student.
yeah. And then if they ever have to end it, hopefully it'll all come crashing down like in the last season of whenever this show, ends.
What did they project on this? Is it just season by season? Can never really. I really don't follow a lot of like when they do that because you never like everybody was talking, from other
Yeah.
shows. Oh, it's going to be 2 seasons and they suck, and then next thing you know, it's only one.
Okay, so I don't know how many episodes there are. What I do know is that so obviously this takes place right after the Batman, right?
Right.
And then from what I read, this the end of this season, I don't know if it's going to be a mini series or if it's a full like, you know, they're going to keep going, continuing, but the end of this season when
Eight
the second
episodes.
8 episodes, so the
Yeah.
second Batman movie timeline wise is supposed to take place a week after the last episode of this.
Okay. An overlapping timeline. Okay.
Yeah. But I hope that like I'm hoping that like whatever happens, so theoretically they're doing this, it ends, and then the Batman 2 comes out, and then I'm hoping after that they'll kick off the next season of Penguin. The only thing that I think they could
Okay.
find some difficulty in is are they ever going to bring in Batman on the Penguin show?
Well, IGN, who is it? Yeah. IGN right now is kind of saying that not so much, but he's just. But it's kind of like the question is, with all this going on, why is Batman MIA? So maybe that might play out something to the Batman movie as well, of that MIA aspect.
Yeah,
But they're saying that they won't be seeing him in this series. But then
but
again, there's been other shows that say certain characters of a certain timeline won't show up, and then lo and behold, they're in that show. But
yeah, but
who
that's
knows?
the thing. So like, if they don't ever plan on bringing him on, so they're gonna have to get really creative if they want to continue the show because obviously his rise to power, and then you're like, well, how come Batman hasn't done anything?
Right.
Unless
Well,
he's doing everything in such a sneaky way that it's going under, you know, Batman's radar.
true. But
Yeah.
okay, so speaking of Batman Radar, they're saying that, and I guess if you look at it now in hindsight, a lot of the areas are being shown that places that normally Batman wouldn't be in,
Oh,
you
okay.
know. And then if you think about it, like, so here's the flip part that it kind of caught me watching, where we never had any known uh known idea the idea of who Penguin, like his mother, right? And then they threw in his mother in this, and then the
Right.
way she plays off, right?
Mm-hmm.
She has that hint of darkness, of pushing him to the brink of, no, you can do this, like, don't lie to me, don't. But yet she's like, no, in a sense, no matter what, I'm gonna love you, but don't lie to me. And the way
Yeah.
she gets, she's very diabolical. And like, he's kind of self-doubting himself, second guessing himself. But then she kind of just looks him in the eye and be like, no, you're gonna do this, you're gonna achieve this. And she's very like laser on it.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
remember when she comes in and all that, she's kind of like, a little out of it, or kind of like, the old lady syndrome, kind of like, yeah. But then when he kind of told her what he did, oh, because you laughed at me, she snapped and kind of like, you're gonna be, and just like, okay, you kind of know where he gets it from.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the fact that they're showing this, which is I think is kind of cool, it's a side of the penguin that maybe we don't really know. But like I said, maybe it's building up to what he may become or what he will become. But how it's gonna be done, that's gonna be the interesting part.
Yeah. What's your guess on how many seasons this is going to be?
Ooh. This is like a two-pronged thing for me because it's all very dependent of external factors that are beyond the control. Um, I say I would like three,
3
but
sounds about right. Yeah.
the thing that is very subjective, how well it continues as far as the directing and editing. Uh, but then obviously how well it's been received. Obviously, a lot of people are liking it, but see, let's go mid-season, see how it goes, and then how does the end really play off?
Yeah.
And then really, it's all the Batman too, how that movie happens, and then finally, the, whatever happens in DC. That's the executive side, all that, the stuff beyond our control, that part there, because that can we know that can change in a in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
You know, just like
I,
remember before with all the stuff with Superman, and then you're like, what the heck? Just like that overnight.
yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking, like, I'm agreeing with you too. A 3, but I'd like to see 5.
Oh,
I think 3 seasons is probably what we're looking at, but I'd like to see 5.
you think there's a lot of content that they could bring about within 5 seasons
I
within this
think
character?
I think like if they slow play it, um, they can, because like I think that going to be like there's going to be a like almost like a dynamic where there's a rise, right,
Okay.
and then we got to see the fall.
Mm,
And I think you could see the rise within 3 seasons, and then the fall the next 2.
okay.
Because like I don't know what's going to play out, but I doubt he's going to hit like I doubt he's going to be the kingpin of Gotham at the end of this season, because
Right.
I'm watching right now. There's going to be a tug of war between him and the daughter, Falcone's
So,
daughter.
Sophia.
Yeah, so there's going to be a tug of war. There's going to be a gang war with that. Right now, he still works for the Falcone family, so he's got to break off, right? And then
True.
he's got to rise, get to the top, and then the downfall. And I think the downfall, what I'd like to see is like he's rising, he's getting to the top with Victor, and then something happens in their relationship where maybe Penguin's getting a little like he's getting a little paranoid that Victor's getting a little ahead of himself. Maybe Victor, starts cooperating with the feds or whatever. There's going to be something there where their relationship is going to clash, and he's going to have to like. I think like the way I see it is Victor's going to be like the one that we can relate to the most, and then they're gonna. The way I see it is they're gonna kill him off when we root for him, like right when we're fully on board with Victor, like
Oh,
as the guy that we root for in the show, they kill him off.
oh, that's an interesting take on that.
Yeah,
I mean, I think like he's the moral. I think Victor would be he's the moral compass.
exact. That's it. That's it. He's gonna be the moral compass. He's the guy that we're gonna root for. And then when we see the their relationships dissolving,
Right.
that's when it starts crashing down.
It's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be interesting how they play it. But I don't know, Victor. Yeah, he's the moral compass. But I say the the uncontrollable Sophia, the way she looks, her eyes. I'm like, she can just start walking around. They all float down here. I'm like,
Yeah,
dang, she has that very psychotic look.
yeah,
But
and
it's good though.
yeah, and if you and I'm not even thinking ahead. Like, let's say because the Penguin has to go down, Batman has to be the one to bring him down, right?
Sure.
So they could do 3-4 seasons and then end it with a Batman movie where he takes him down
In the movie.
in the movie. Yeah,
Okay. But see,
it
here's
could
my
be
thing
like a
though.
Batman versus Penguin, movie.
Okay, but see, here's the thing too. Like, who's gonna play Batman? Because that also plays a lot too, and how they bring about the character of Batman slash, and then obviously Bruce Wayne. Because you got to be able to pull off both. But here's another thing too for the season. It's like for the show. You know, what about bringing in certain of the other villains to show like who he has to deal with, or just like they say that 6 degrees of separation, because they're all within the same universe,
Yeah,
the same timeline of certain things, because we already know the Joker's in this. We know the Riddler's already been played out, but like there's Croc, I mean, hell, you can even go Osriel, I mean, Red Hood, or just whoever.
yeah,
If you think about on like the dark side of the villains.
yeah,
So that would be interesting. Or heck, even just a notion of a hint of just saying, Ra's al Ghul.
yeah,
Just like I say, maybe a whisper or something. Just kind of keep them within that universe. But again, you can't just say it's just gonna be Penguin he's bringing up, but yet little things of just little Easter eggs
yeah, yeah,
to get people to like, oh man, are they gonna do this? And then however they write it and plays out, maybe that might be a way. But like I said, I'm looking forward to it. I think it has a lot of potential. I think it's been constructed really well in so many different ways of, set design, costumes, special effects, just the way the writing, the music. Yeah, I mean, and very, like you said, very gangsterish, kind of like from a
yeah,
different perspective.
yeah,
Yeah, I like this. I was like, this is going to be fun.
yeah.
It's going to be fun.
And just to to end the topic off. I mean, it. I like the fact that it's in the Batman universe, but it's not a Batman. Like
Yes.
this could be anything. This could be any sort
Yeah,
of crime drama.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It can. And I said it can stand on its own.
Yep. Exactly. That's exactly. You're finishing all my sentences here tonight.
We've been friends for a while, so what do you think?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to the big topic for the night, and that's only you're the
All
one
right.
who's inspired me to bring this up.
Oh boy. Yeah.
So you and I both collect comic books. We collect Funkos. I think those are the two things that we both have in common. I collect a couple of toys here and there, and I have a couple like statues, but nothing to your extent. Okay. Um, but we I know that you've been consolidating over the past few years. So what I want to ask you is is for people who like to collect like us, do you think there's a moment where we need to stop collecting?
I think it just gets changed into a different name. Whether you want to downsize or buy just more high value,
Right.
but I don't think so. Because for people like us, um, it's embedded in us. I would say for me, it's part of me because my mother is the main reason I got into this world of collection in a sense,
Right.
or just the superhero, things like back in the 70s that um, people didn't think that it was cool like it is today, you
Right.
know, and it's kind of generational
I was
because
born in 2000, so I don't know what you're talking about. But
shut
yeah.
up. Well, back in the day, no. um, my mom's favorite characters growing up for me was Wonder Woman and Thor. And that's how I learned to read, like I told you. And the funny thing is, a lot of people, um, a lot of my friends, because I spent my whole first career, in the army, after 24 years, a lot of people didn't know the extent of I collect the action figures, the geeking out, but just, and they're like, and again, it was a secret. Like
Yeah.
back in the day, you
Yeah.
had it had to be a secret because
Yep.
I played sports my whole career, my whole life, and then the army life I was it just, certain things is just very low key until it became socially accepted because it was
Mainstream.
cool. Yeah, mainstream. But
Yeah.
to me, we just call it because until everybody says, "Oh, this is cool because it shows money." It's like, no, we've been doing it because it's the love.
Yeah.
But it's hard to decide when because I think when you and I first met, uh, uh, the crazy thing was like you didn't even know I was a fan of it because you're like you don't look like the atypical person who does all this stuff. And like I've been going to Comic Con since 97, 98. You know,
Yeah. I
and
think when we first met, we did not reveal our true um,
identity.
identity. It slowly creeped in. You would say a little thing
Yeah.
like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I might know about that. Yeah, I might know about that."
And then you're like, what the heck? Like, how do you like, oh yeah, man, I just because there are certain storylines in comics that I will always remember and hold close, like, you know, uh the whole Batman series, when Jim Lee took over in 608, was just phenomenal. And then also doing he did Superman, series. I think that was 202 or 203. Um that was just the way he draws, and then but it's really a storyline in that, and then obviously everybody sees what's going to be happening soon.
Yeah.
Kingdom Come. I mean, Kingdom Come is by far one of the great storylines I liked, as well as you know Secret Wars, Infinity Gauntlet. Like those storylines are just I will always have those storylines, and
Right.
it's
Right. Right.
just. But I've been collecting, like you said, over when's a good time. I need a downside because I have too much room, or I mean, I don't have enough room. Put it that way.
That's what I was
Um,
gonna. I was gonna say. Is it more so creating space?
yeah,
Yeah.
creating space and kind of like re-diversifying of the amount. Because like I think my Funko collection at one time I was at 400. Now I'm at two something. I need to get. I'm trying to get rid of 90. Let's just put it this way: my whole collection, I'm looking to get rid of about 95% of it.
So out of 200, you're only gonna keep 10.
If that. That's just on those Funkos because I could have Funkos, action figures meaning from original OGI Joe, Star Wars, Justice League, the Bruce Timm Justice League series, the Galactic Heroes, Star Wars, Hot Wheels. Let's say what over little over 3,600 of comics, graded, non-raw, uh, signed, not signed, statues, the Funkos, anime, yeah, it's helmets. um yeah, 95% of all that's got to go. Only thing I'm keeping is the most things that I hold close to me. Like I have my original 12-inch Darth Vader, that they sold. um I have that one, and I'm keeping that one. And then I have my first series, Darth Vader 1977, unopened, but I want to get box graded the original, but that one's going to run like 8 grand. So I gotta sell all that just so I can get portion. I mean, I have more than 8 grand, but and as you know, I have that one Funko that I'm still debating.
Yeah. No, I know.
I'm
I know.
still my holy grail is debating on that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's just one. But like I said, that will be one I probably will keep, as well as a few other Grail Funkos. But again, that will be for my kids, because my kids, I brought this up, I brought my kids up in this world. They're all adults now, and they all have a sense of what this world's about. At some point or at one point, they were go with me to the conventions and either dress up like my middle daughter, who used to dress up, but then she kind of saw that's a whole nother world in itself of cosplaying but
Yeah.
it's a great community, but it's a lot of work. And you can
Yeah.
see I love going and see the attention to detail, the creativity, and every time they're like, "Aren't you going to dress up?" I say, "Yeah, shorts and a t-shirt. There you go. That's my dressing up."
It's funny because I'm sure you have friends that don't go to conventions. I do too,
Mhm.
And every time, when people find out I go to conventions, the first thing they always ask is, "Do you dress up?" or "What are you dressing up as?" And I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
like, that, I would say less than 10% of people dress up for conventions.
Hmm. Absolutely. But I
Yeah,
think, going to the conventions, it's just being the collector. You're like, oh man, it's for me, it has to be a convention exclusive.
yep,
And then, the rarity of it. Is it one in 5,000 versus one in 500? And then obviously the cost. But then the biggest thing is, where am I going to put it?
yeah,
And that's been kind of like the biggest thing. Where am I going to put it? I mean, heck, I still even have a couple of the low limits prints of Alex Ross prints signed. And I'm like, oh crap, what am I going to do? I don't have enough room. I don't have enough wall space. Let's put it that
yeah,
way.
yeah,
I need a house the size of Shaq to be like, okay, I can get more.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But a 4-bedroom house, I'm like, I need more room. So that's just the problem. Trying to change the amount of my comics and just my entire collection, but it's more so of re-diversifying, as I could put it, to reduce so I could find better quality. Because in
Hmm.
the end, it's all for my kids, and but my thing is, and I would joke with them. And I think it was because when my Nino passed, like he was he loved fishing and a lot of stuff, but it just, going through all his stuff to help my Nina out was making me realize like that's a lot of stuff for them to go through. It's
Yeah,
already
yeah,
hard enough as it is. But the biggest thing is like with comics or just collecting, they don't really know what they have, and if they like, oh, like so maybe one of my comics, oh, here's $3, and it's $800 item.
yeah, yeah,
And they're like, well, I wouldn't know. I say, well, I'm gonna be dead, so I don't give a crap. That's on you. But I'd rather just have a small amount, but extremely high value. That no matter what, they're not gonna get any lower than what it is. Like, there's
yeah,
no way. Like, oh, I wouldn't know. All that you gotta do is look up and be like, dang, okay, everything here is all high value. But when you're going through over 4,000 comics, you won't know. Or you
yeah,
know what I mean? So like you said, like you're collecting your prints. I'm looking at all this stuff, I'm like, man. And the worst thing is you got me into the bad habit of the rule of three. You gotta buy three or more. One for me, one for collecting, and then one to sell. Just like, or one to like get assigned and stuff. I'm like, dang it, man. Why? This is too much. Remember, like I was telling you, unknown BTC and all them, like, hey, where's Mark, man? This guy was spending, a couple hundred every month. Now
yeah.
we barely hear
They
from
should have
him.
done a rewards program with you.
No, oh, they did afterwards. I'm like, now, now they do, but I'm looking, but then I'm like, no, I can't. And what killed me, I think, what made me kind of tone it down. You remember that Batman series issue by a certain artist, and we went crazy.
Um,
The
I think I
wedding.
know you're talking about. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Dude, I have so many prints. I'm like, why?
Well, yeah. You know what? I mean, going back to that. So for the audience out here, I actually did not invest a lot on that. I did not invest a lot, but that was a Batman issue 50 from the
50.
current run right now.
Yeah.
Batman and Catwoman were supposed to get married. It didn't happen. Um, and a lot of collectors were buying multiple copies because it was supposed to be a big issue, and
Hmm.
then nothing happened. The wedding got
Nothing
called
happened.
off. And you know what? The way I see it is, if you're not gonna like, here's what I thought after reading the issue and finding out that they didn't get married. If the author, because the writer, he really pushed for it. He did,
Yep.
like,
We
on
did.
social media.
Yep.
What I think he should have done is okay, I'm not going to marry them, but I'm going to kill off Catwoman. That would have been just as impactful.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. That would have been a jaw dropper. That
Yeah,
definitely would have. Yeah.
that's what I was like. Okay, so what what actually happened? Nothing actually happened though. You know?
And I was looking at majority of the better covers, you know what I mean, like the lower run of a lot of those covers, and then buying them, in the rule of three. I was just like, oh boy. And then I just saw it, I'm like, man, I even got that hardcover version, and I think I got like four of those. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, but it's just, I mean, it's there's, but just like in all collecting, this there's the right person, for the right item, and it's
Yeah.
just I rather, um, I need to reduce. That's just the bottom line. I need to reduce, but I just don't know. It's time consuming.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. I mean, I think right now I'm not buying anything like as far as like a current series. I don't have a pull anymore. Um,
What? Are you sure
yeah.
about that?
Yeah. I stopped my pull. I even
Oh
I
wow.
even I was thinking about getting the absolute Batman. I was gonna
I
get a
was.
pull for that, but I was like, nah, I'm not going to.
Mm.
So yeah, I've stopped that. I This is what I want to do is go through everything I've got, keep what I want to keep, and then maybe go back into getting a pull again. Either that, or I might just go all digital, and then whenever there's speculation of a hot book, that's when I'll buy.
But see, the digital part, like we talked about this years ago when they first started, and I'm just like, I guess maybe it is because it's just a generational thing, it's the tangibleness of being the kid to read, through than, like it is now. But again, it's a different generation. But
Yeah,
again, for comics, it's still about the nostalgia of what it is and what it means,
yeah,
But again, we know there are books that are or covers that are just done just for the sake of the artist, even though the storylines it's good, but it's the cover and who's doing it, and then the rarity, and where is it coming from? If it's like we always joke about making a phone call to Delato and getting our own special cover and stuff,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
but it's hard, and I still prefer the actual book. Like people today with movies, right? It's all streaming, but some people still prefer the disc. You know, having that in hand. Uh, and the thing with like with technology, if something goes bad with the server, what are you going to do?
yeah,
Or your computer crashes, things like that. But the hard part for us is we have all these comics you got to go through, and I think the biggest thing is for telling people, in the audience, if you have started or just recently, or you're about to start, or get someone into it, or you're just like us, the biggest thing is get it categorized.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
the biggest thing, because after a certain amount, you're just like, uh, I think I do, or I know I do, but I just don't know where.
yeah. And
Like I
even
said,
if you
what?
and even if you're not good, like I have a very simple kind of category right now. I do plan on getting a little more detailed, but so I have like different, like I have different boxes, right? I have like
Right.
the plain white boxes, and I have like some of the artwork boxes, right?
Yes.
So what I plan on doing at some point is anything that I find valuable is going to be in the artwork boxes, and
Okay.
then anything that can, in the event, I got to get rid, or let's say someone's got to get rid of them for me. Anything in the white box, trash. That's fine. Anything in the colored printed, the artwork boxes,
Hmm.
those are valuable. And I'm even thinking about buying some of those BCW boxes. I'm cheap, so I don't know if I want to buy those boxes because they're expensive. But I was thinking even more so like the really higher end raw books that I haven't gotten graded. I'll put in those boxes. Maybe get like two or three of them.
Yeah, the BCW, I got 30 of those.
Yeah, they're
I got
expensive.
I know, but they're worth it, especially for the graded. Like all my gradeds are, I got those right in
Yeah.
there. But then I kind of at one point just said, you know what, the old school cardboard just wasn't cutting it anymore, and I kind of went a little ballistic and just converted everything, you know. Kind of like
Yeah.
Gary Owen just yelling everything. Just yeah, that was and that was a lot too because you got to put them together and they're sturdy and everything. But then transferring everything over, yeah, it was a long day,
Yeah.
a long few days to be actually, a long
Yeah.
few days.
But I mean, I'm sure that that help you consolidate and know where certain books are located now.
No,
No.
because I was going through. Remember, like I said, for a while when me and you were buying like crazy. It just orders are just coming through the house, the
Oh right.
boxes.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So I take out the receipt, put the receipt on the stop, and I just stack the boxes because they were just coming in. And just, got to go to work, got the kid, deal with the kids. At the time, my son was in high school. So, just being busy with life. And then all of a sudden, it was in my other spare room. And I was just like, yeah, I got to go through this. That was the hard. By that time, I was like, you know what? When the BCWs came in, I just put everything in there, and like I said, I got to go through those case by case,
Yeah.
and then separate as I'm categorizing everything, so help me to be easier to push out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's yeah, man, it's the best thing I think I've ever invested in.
Really. Okay.
Because because the collecting, going to the conventions, it's a great world to be part of. You come across a lot of good people, you know, in a sense, how you and I met, and all the other guys I know now, the artists and just random people that you see at certain conventions all the time. You get to know them because, we're always sitting in line
Yeah.
waiting just to
Yeah.
get in. And it's just, everybody has a story, and then you get to see, like, you know what? This is actually pretty cool. It's a great
Yeah.
thing because it's also brought me and my kids things that we could do together. You know,
Do your kids, have they gotten the bug to collect or no?
no, one of my daughters is a minimalist. She tries to make sure, but I think because for her and her boyfriend, their apartment, space.
Yeah.
Um, my son, I actually kind of have his stuff here, so it's kind of like both.
You're collecting
And
for them.
then, yeah, still. When he was a baby, I kid you not, I would go to the store back in, KB Toys was around. One for me, one for him, one for him, one for me. And I still have all his stuff, and then I have the same things. I'm like, oh boy, what am I going to do with this? So I kind of did that. And then my oldest, she does, but she tries to. But again, Dad kind of takes care of that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she has her things, and I know what she likes. Uh, oh, and then heck, my other collection too is all my Disney stuff. That's a oof. Yeah, those Disney pins, man.
Yeah.
N-
Yeah. I got burned pretty bad on Disney pins. So
Never go to Mickey of Glendale on D23. Your wallet will tell you don't do it.
yeah. Well, I wouldn't say I got burned pretty bad, but I mean, I still have some that I'm like, what am I doing with this stuff?
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm trying to reduce. Now I don't really collect as much of the Disney pins. I'm just trying to push all those. But usually I'll push them at the event when I go. Like this past
Yeah.
D23, I did fairly well. I usually bring about 2 boxes, and then I'll just put stuff on offer up while I'm there, and just after the show, push. Just try to push as much as I can, even during the show. I'll bring in.
Yeah.
It kind of helps out, but my thing is that's what I'm trying to do. Just a lot of times, they're like, people, you want to trade? I'm not trying to trade. I'm not trying to trade stuff. I'm trying to reduce.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's been like I said, collecting has been an adventure. It will always be part of me. It just will just be, I guess you could say, more of the higher end now that the big boy toys are out. You know,
I mean, I have you gotten rid of any of your sideshow stuff?
yeah, some, um, but not a lot.
How do you? Because here's the thing. Because I've got like I don't really have like I have like three side shows that
Hmm.
but I do have like a couple statues and stuff. But because how do you because the shipping sucks for that. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming you do just local pickup.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you get
definitely.
your money back or do you have to lose a little bit?
I usually break. I would say about maybe I'll gain 25%.
Oh, so they go up in value.
A lot of them, yeah. And you know me, they don't see the light of day. They
Yeah.
get cleaned. All my stuff gets cleaned.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. The girl I'm dating, she's like, wow. She goes, she goes, this is crazy because it's all like, it's well put together. My stuff, like what I have, like my Darth Vader, the sideshow Darth Vader I have, the one with he's standing on the X-wing, a broken piece of it, and he comes. I got the limited one with the three different helmets, and
Right.
it was fun because it was right when the Obi-Wan series, but yet that's still just from the whole cartoon and all. The half broken helmet and everything, and the scarred, Anakin. That was a very that costed as much as my Mandalorian helmet. And I said, okay, this thing weighs like, 20 something pounds. And
Yeah.
I was like, when it came in the box was just ginormous. And I was just like, wow. But when it came, and the cool part, like I said, it's a great world. Two of my kids, my oldest daughter and my son, they came over to help me put it together.
Right.
So it's the thing because my kids know, Star Wars is my thing, out of everything, and to put it together, it's huge,
Yeah.
and that was the last thing I bought from Sideshow because what I will take that back. When this past
Did you
May the
get like
4th.
the Trinity thing you kept telling me about?
Oh yeah, oh you didn't see those. I gotta show you. So I got the
You
DC
know what? What?
Trinity.
Once I get my own, like, once I get this whole videography thing done right, I'll do like a MTV Crib style Mark Romo house.
No, there's a lot. Yeah, the DC Trinity is cool because I got this just first by the Wonder Woman version because basically it's like Roman statues, right?
Yeah.
Times, but all that pure white, but then it's the certain pieces are gold, so it pops. I got it. The first one was the Wonder Woman because my mom. See, every year for my mom's birthday or holiday gifts and all that, I would always get my mom unique Wonder Woman things,
Yeah.
right? So she has her own collection too, and it's nothing. It's all Wonder Woman, you know. Even like like Norm. I had Norm. He met my mom at a Long Beach convention, and he drew her a Wonder Woman. So that's in her collection. So um it's just crazy. But that was the big starting point. And then when I saw the Batman, then I'm like, okay, here we go. I got to get that one. And sure enough, here comes Superman. I'm like, well, I got to do it. Can't get just two. Got to be the three.
Yeah.
So, like I said, the rule of three by you. So, thanks. My wallet thanks you too. You know, but the sideshow, I got the Darth Revan action figure. So I'm just waiting for that to come in. That just looks clean. That just looks real clean.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's it. No more sideshow. I'm trying, but we'll see.
Yeah. I
We'll
mean,
see.
I've got a few statues and like the sideshow figures. I still
Yeah.
don't like to call them figures, but I get it. Yeah, they are figures.
No,
I
they're
don't.
big boy toys.
Yeah,
They're big boy toys.
yeah. I haven't had to. I think I'm done with that stuff though, unless I find a
Yeah.
really good deal. You know, like I need a good Miles Morales statue,
Ooh.
and a good.
Ooh.
I think well, I have a nice Venom toy, but a Venom bust or a Venom statue would be good.
See, okay, you went there, and the only thing I would say, I couldn't unless I got all four, meaning identical pose, right? But of the four, for me would be the original Peter Parker, right? Outfit, the Venom outfit, Carnage, and then Miles Morales.
Miles, yeah.
And again,
So I
it's all, you know,
yeah, and I know
detail.
I could get it because I have a Gentle Giant Spider-Man bust, and I
Oh,
know
okay.
they've got a Venom one, they've got a Miles one, and they've got a Carnage one. So I thought, well, maybe at some point
Mm.
I'll just buy those because I like the way they look.
Yeah, see? Oh,
Yeah,
now you're gonna make me look, dang it.
yeah.
Don't make me do
Well,
this.
the thing is, the Venom one's going up has gone up in value, so it's hard to find that one at a decent deal. But
I
yeah,
mean, but then sometimes you're gonna have to though. We all know that in collecting, and the audience knows. Like, yeah, sometimes you're gonna have to just bite the bullet.
yeah. But I'm cheap too, so it's like
No, cheap's not the word. It's just you're more financially conscientious.
okay, all
Okay.
right. I'll go with that. Yeah,
I mean, it's just yeah, man. I mean, I would oh god, man, that's hard. But if you have all four and there's one that you know to complete the set, again, you know you need it to complete that set,
yeah.
and then it makes that set a little bit more valuable that you when you sell it, you can sell it as a set.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know you're that is you. You're a set guy. You know.
Yeah, it gotta be the set. I mean, you gotta have one or the other. You can't have like the half cover and then you don't have the other half because that way you could sell it for more for
Yeah,
having both. And then
yeah.
if it's signed, graded, remarked,
Oh, let's not even go with
all part of the collection.
remarks because we've been signed and graded.
Yeah, let's not go into that conversation. That's just that's too much. Just like
Yeah.
we did in Ontario. I'm like, oh man, you know,
Hey, but the return on investment is good on that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I will agree. The return investment was really good on that. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward on that. Did you sell any of those?
I sold my nine. So I thought I had more. I only had four graded. I sold the 9.6, and
Nice, nice.
so now I
Okay.
have the 9.8 that I'm gonna move. So I'm like, all right. So the 9.6 I did fairly well. So I know now with the 9.8 I can do even better.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't moved any of those. Ah, I gotta talk to you more about that.
Okay.
You need to come down here. That's all the bottom line is. You need to come down here, you go through, then you can look at the bottles I have, and then that way we can look on that too to be like, what would be the ones you want to, have a little table conversation of testing and tasting those.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, I told you I'll come out there eventually. You know, it's
Good.
I make it sound like you live like a state away when really like you're
No kidding.
40 minutes away.
Exactly. On a bad day, maybe an hour, but you know,
Yeah.
that's traffic. Where we live, traffic's traffic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
All right, man. Well, we hit that
all
hour
right,
mark.
all right, brother.
I know I didn't want to keep you up for too long. You're going to LA Comic Con, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll see you there. Well, actually, I haven't bought my tickets yet, but
Oh, you didn't?
I'm 80% sure I'll be going. But you're only going to go Saturday?
Yeah, me, local. I only do one day because my cousin goes all three. The one that you met, he goes to all three. But for me, um, with the remodel I got going on around the house, yeah, I can only One day.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna put that out there. LA Comic Con has not been the same since Stan Lee hasn't been the face of the show.
Yeah,
Like
I'll agree.
the
I'll agree.
exclusives are not good. The artists that they pull are not. They still get artists, but it's not like every year it was Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane. You know, the names that you think of.
I think it's bad planning and a lot of times of the time frame, but then also too, it seems like honestly, in my opinion, I feel they're trying to go about like to be the second largest to Comic Con, and it's about the marketing of the industry bringing that, and that's not what it's about. Remember this last one? Look where Artist Alley was.
I didn't even go last year, so
Oh,
I
you
don't know where it
didn't?
was.
Yeah. The far left of the stage just kind of like crammed, and it was just, I think, Artist Alley should always be bigger than what it should be because that's where it all started from.
Yeah,
Even the whole aspect of collecting, it all started with just by the books and, the artists and things like that. The
yeah,
industry of marketing and items and all that, that's part of it too. But, as you say, we all know, like, you know, Comic Con, it's even my friends are telling me, like, the artists, they're like saying it's getting smaller. It's
yeah,
really getting smaller. And that's the sad part because again, that's where it all started from that.
yeah,
So, but I mean, I'm hoping, again, I'm always hopeful, and then, part of it is never know who we might run into.
yeah, yeah.
So,
All right. Well, with that being said, man, I plan on going, so I'll see you on Saturday. I
yes,
definitely
you
want to have
will.
you back, man. So,
All right,
you know,
brother. Hey, comic
we've got a
collector.
lot of pop culture, comic book, toy collecting stuff we could definitely talk about some more.
Absolutely. Or even possibly about the Grail.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, brother.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back very soon. Peace
All
out.
right. Thank you for having me. Out.
All right, man. See ya.
See ya.